This is Halloween, this is Halloween in this town. Where did I get these, you may ask? I got them from JList.com. JList box, your friend in Japan. You're welcome. Look how nice they are. They are my only friends. These were in a Halloween box. I'm a little late to that because today is Halloween, but that's actually really good. Tastes like fruit punch. You know, I was just gonna open all of these and just kind of waste them, but they're actually really good. I don't want to waste them. And you're like, look at all the keys. Hi guys, it's Adria and happy Halloween, you guys. Today, I'm gonna be telling you guys some scary stories that actually happened. There's nothing scarier than the truth, am I right? Today, I'm gonna be telling you 5 scary things that actually happened on Halloween or around Halloween, but like, you know, Halloween. Watch at your own discretion. If you're like 5 years old and watching Yo Gabba Gabba, please don't watch this. The first story today is about the murder of Peter Fabiano. So on October 31st, 1957, Peter Fabiano and his wife were headed to bed. You know, they had been passing out candy to trick-or-treaters. They were going to bed. They heard a knock at the door. Peter goes downstairs, grabs the bowl of candy, answers the door. There's a woman standing there in jeans and mask and holding a brown paper bag out. So his wife from upstairs heard a loud pop and then the screeching of car tires, just like screeching away like GTFO. So she goes downstairs to find her husband laying on the floor in front of the open door, blood pouring out of his chest, just like, what happened? I thought he was handing out candy. When his wife found him, he was still alive and gasping for air, but he died before he was able to get to the hospital. As his murder was investigated, the creepier it ended up getting. Peter worked as a hairdresser. 2 weeks after his murder, the police found his former employee named Joan, but they weren't able to arrest her due to lack of evidence, though she did lie about where she was the night of his murder, but there just wasn't any evidence to convict her. A month later, the police got an anonymous phone call telling them to go to this storage unit, and there they found a gun. The bullets in the gun matched the bullet under Peter's heart. Ugh. Makes me feel gaggy. It's scary. The locker was being rented out by a woman named Goldine Pizer, who seemingly had no connection to Peter or his wife at all. Upon further investigation, dun dun dun, she did. So remember the woman I mentioned before, who they were suspicious did it? Apparently her and Goldine were lovers! So Joan had been feeding Goldine like all these made up things about Peter, saying that like he abused his wife, what a terrible person he was because, you know, she used to work for him. So Goldine ended up hating this man that she didn't even know, never even met. She agreed to help Joan kill him. Joan paid for the gun and drove Goldine to the house that night to do it. Girl, why would Joan go to all this trouble, you ask? Because she had been sleeping with Peter's wife! That was really loud, I'm sorry. But no, she had been this Halloween night murder scandalous love triangle, actually it's a love square. There's 4 people involved in this. So Goldine was in love with Joan, but Joan was in love with Peter's wife. So to get Peter out of the way, Joan convinced this girl like, hey, let's kill this guy. It was all for Joan's own personal gain in the end. How messed up is that? Joan pleaded not guilty and Goldine pleaded insanity. Both of them got a life sentence in prison. Bye, Felicia. This next story is probably the scariest one. It's about the mysterious disappearance of the Jamison family. So the husband Bobby, the wife Sherilyn, and their daughter Madison were looking to buy a plot of land near Red Oak, Oklahoma. That's a mouthful. Red Oak, Oklahoma. Their suspected remains were found on November 15th and 16th of 2013, over 4 years later. What? They were found by hunters who just found a bunch of bones in the woods. That's kind of scary. What's really scary though is that the circumstances around their disappearance and deaths still remain unanswered to this day. The initial investigation about their disappearance led people to believe that they didn't vanish on their own, which is a really scary thought. But back in 2009, when they first disappeared, their truck was found, and inside was their family dog, who had been malnourished for a few days. I swear I just heard a noise. Ugh, no! Police also found in the truck their IDs, wallets, a GPS, their phones, as well as $32,000 in cash. What? I also read that they were known to carry large sums of money on them at a time, but seriously, like $32,000 in cash in your car? Why? You ever hear of a check or a money order, girl? So you know how I said earlier hunters found their bone remains? Their truck was found just about 3 miles away from where those remains were found eventually. I don't really know how it took them like 4 years to find anything. That's what makes this case so weird, is that their remains were so close by, but yet they weren't found until 2013. So people started to come up with theories about what happened to the Jamisons. Perhaps they faked their own death, they were in witness protection, they were killed, or maybe they committed a group suicide. What is that? Okay, there were people talking outside my window. That was really scary. Please don't do that while I'm telling scary stories! So before the family disappeared, Bobby was actually involved in a lawsuit with his dad, where he reported his dad had threatened him, but the police didn't believe Bobby's father was involved in the case. Another theory suggests that they were involved in drugs and drug dealing, hence their odd behavior and the huge sums of money they carried. Bobby and Sherilyn had repeatedly told their pastor on a few occasions that they saw spirits in their house. Sherilyn's mom actually believes that the family was killed by a violent cult, which is really creepy if you think about it. Girl, it makes me nauseous. But Sherilyn's mom denied that the family was involved in drugs or witchcraft. So I think the creepiest thing about this story is the picture they found on Bobby's phone. So this is a picture of their daughter Madison, and this photo was taken just one day before they were reported missing. Police found this on his phone, which was inside of their locked truck, but I don't know, there's just something so creepy about it. I mean, she looks upset and she looks dirty, and they're just in the mountains, in the woods, and I don't know, like, what is she looking at? Who is she looking at? Like, who took the picture? Did her parents take the picture? Were her parents, like, captured or something? Like, what happened? There's so many questions that surround that picture that, I don't know, the first time I heard about this and saw that picture, I was just so creeped out. So like I said, to this day, nobody really knows for sure what happened to the Jamisons. People have their theories about what happened. I personally don't even know what I believe. The whole story is just super creepy and scary. Nothing like getting your period in the middle of a video. Happy Halloween. This next story is called The Hanging Woman. So this took place in Delaware back in 2005. Apparently, this 42-year-old woman had hung herself from a tree. She committed suicide outside in a very public area. But because it was around Halloween, none of the residents took notice, okay? I mean, like, there was kids walking by, there was like neighbors and things, but nobody noticed because of all the spooky Halloween decorations, which is kind of really scary if you think about it. A dead body was just hanging outside. Nobody knew it was real until the next day. So her body hung 15 feet high off the ground from a tree for an entire day until people got closer and noticed that she wasn't made out of rubber and there was a smell. So then of course people noticed, but I mean, that's just really creepy. I can't imagine seeing an actual dead body and thinking it was part of a Halloween prop. This kind of reminds me of Scream Queens. This next story is called Killed Over Candy. I'd kill someone over some candy. This took place on Halloween night back in 2011. 55-year-old Liddell Peoples got a knife and repeatedly stabbed his girlfriend Maria Adams over a bag of Halloween candy. What? She allegedly took a bag of his Halloween candy and that just sent him into a fit of rage, which I can honestly relate to. I've gotten angry over people eating my food, but I mean, really? But get this, when he got arrested, he attempted to defend his actions by saying his candy was stolen. Dude, you're like 55, you sound 5! And as you can imagine, the legal system was very unsympathetic. I mean, you killed your girlfriend over candy, dude. He was arrested on a $2 million bond. I can't believe that this actually happened. It doesn't seem real, does it? I think the real question here is what was in that bag of candy? It better have been like Reese's and Kit Kats, not Laffy Taffy. Ugh. But no, that's not funny. I make jokes at inappropriate times. I try to make things funny when it's not really funny. Obviously somebody getting killed isn't funny, but the circumstance is a little odd. And this last scary story today is about a little boy who was poisoned on Halloween by his own dad. So you always hear the myths about people poisoning candy and, you know, letting your parents check your candy, but you never actually think that it would happen, right? I know I always thought that. When I was a kid and my mom wanted to check my candy, I thought she was just trying to take all the good stuff while I was asleep. Now I realize that she was just looking out for me. Always let your parents check your candy. Seriously. I kind of wish my mom could have checked this before I ate it. I think I'm good. So this story took place in 1974 in Deer Park, Texas. Ronald Clark O'Brien laced his son's pixie sticks with cyanide. And he had all the intent in the world to kill his son so that he could collect the insurance money. So Ronald had fallen deeply into debt. He bought potassium cyanide, sprinkled it into 5 pixie sticks, gave one to his son Timothy, one to his daughter, and then passed 3 of them out to the neighborhood kids. He figured this way he could avoid suspicion because, you know, if other kids got poisoned, he could pass the blame onto somebody else in the neighborhood. After 11-year-old Timothy had gone trick-or-treating, when he got home, his dad forced him to eat the pixie stick, was probably like, hey son, eat this pixie stick. After he ate it, he complained of the bitter taste and then just began vomiting uncontrollably. Timothy died before he was even able to get to the hospital. Ronald O'Brien was found guilty and died of lethal injection, and he became known as the Candyman, which is creepy. No, why would you call him anything? Just no, ugh. 'Cause I think of the Willy Wonka song, the Candyman, is like, make it all like twisted and no. And he also became known as the man who killed Halloween. Maybe this is where parents today get that fear of their kids being poisoned. And that's even crazier that it was his own dad that did it. It wasn't a neighbor or anything. If you're young and you still trick or treat, if your parents say they want to check your candy, remember this story. I thought my mom wanting to check my candy was just her taking all my Reese's cups. So I hope you guys enjoyed this scary story time today. If you did, don't forget to give it a like and comment down below which one scared you the most. Don't forget to hit subscribe. I post videos 3 times a week, and you can follow me on all my social media. That is, of course, linked down below. And also follow my vlog channel if you want to see my day-to-day life and what I do when I'm not doing this. I will see you guys again real soon. Until then, panda hugs. I love you guys. Bye! And happy Halloween.